I've waited 5 years to work the gold deposit behind me. Half a decade. And that's the flour gold I've got out of one pan. I thought that was a massive gold nugget, but it's a piece of mica.
No, Peter, it wasn't even close.
One of the problems we've got is these root balls I can't just put straight into that mini hopper. And that means I've got to come in here and shake them out in the bucket so we release the gravel from them. I'd left this gold deposit alone for 5 years simply because I derived my enjoyment from finding the gold deposits and not necessarily working them. And that usually means that by the time I found one gold deposit, I'm already thinking about finding the next. So after finding this gold deposit, it kind of just got put on the back burner for a long time. That was the first 40-litre bucket run. Most of the mat has a good layer of black sand and ironstone in it. However, I may have underestimated the equipment that I have needed. This little unit is very fast at processing dirt, but the spray bars up here are not really designed to break apart things like roots like they are on a big high banker. And so even though I've got most of these roots washed out and thrown aside, it's still very slow feeding from that bucket. So here's what I'm thinking. We're going to test up underneath the Jarvie ripple and see how much gold is in a 40-litre bucket. And if it's really good, I'll continue for a few buckets. And like if it's not so great, we'll just go test panning and see what we can find elsewhere. And I'll come back with the big high banker. This will at least give me a decent idea of the kind of flour gold that's in it. This is just that very small piece of miner's moss at the top. That's from one 40-litre bucket from just that very small piece of miner's moss at the top of the smallest high banker I own. Okay, let's be honest, it's not a high banker, it's a low banker. You got to kind of squat down to get to it. The deposit's still here, the gold's still good, there's heaps of potential in the ground. I just am not able to get through those root systems as quick as I thought I would be able to get through. Therefore, we're going exploring. Prospecting's a funny thing. You can never predict exactly how your day is going to go. At best, it's educated guesswork, and your ability to roll with the punches is what separates good prospectors from bad ones. A lot of people tend to think that I track the gold down a creek system, but I don't. I actually track the heavies. The more heavies, the more likely it is that there's going to be a decent gold deposit. For example, if I got 5 pieces of gold and a teaspoon of heavies there, I would look around this area to see if the heavies increase, because if the heavies increase, the gold's probably going to increase along with it. And there's a lot more ironstone and black sand in these creeks than there is gold. So it's easier to follow the heavies to a gold deposit. And what I'm seeing in my pan right now is a lot of ironstone. That is ridiculous. So I've got a good feeling about this pan. Yeah, boy, yeah. The most gold I've got test panning up until this point has been about 20 specks, and that is a lot more. That's almost as much as I got for a 40-litre bucket, just high banking. This erosion might be a good spot. It might all just be sitting on the surface though. I'm going to have to take a pan from deeper to check. Because a lot of the time when water erodes a bank like this, it has a low grade speck count in it. All the gold gets concentrated on the surface as the water washes the dirt away. So there's no gold deeper, it's just sitting on top. Gold? Doesn't look as rich. Oh no, that's heaps. Oh yeah. How's that for just 2 shovels of dirt? That is a very nice flour gold pan. I don't know how big that deposit's going to be, but it's not the size, it's what you stick in it. And I'm going to stick a whole heap of shovels in it. That's a pan. Whole heap of shovels in it. Went into production panning mode there, where instead of sucking it up every time you do a pan, you just keep dumping more dirt on the top of it and panning it down. This is the total for 3 pans out of the same hole. I'm just digging straight into the bedrock. Remembering that this is 3 pans, that's about as much as I got in the first one, so I'm going to guess that the concentration of gold is actually on the surface of the gravel. I haven't been to this spot in a number of years, and that's what I've managed to find test panning in a couple of hours. I'm pretty happy with that. But it's definitely time for me to head on and see if I can find some more deposits. While I walk down the creek to the next spot, if you guys would like to help support the channel, please check out the description below where you'll find a link to my Patreon account. Every month I give away exclusive pay dirt and gold prospecting equipment, as well as early access to videos and patron-only live streams. It only costs $1 to sign up and there are no long-term commitments. You see, a lot of prospectors think that the minor flooding they get every year with just average rainfall is what moves real gold, and it's just not. Yes, it will move a little bit, but you need a monumental flood, a lot of rain in a very short period of time to really change the creek and reload it.
That's true.
This bedrock is all made from sandstone. It's extremely fractured, and because of the violent floods we had, it's jam-packed full of gold. Oh, bug. The trick here is to break into the bedrock. Because it's so fractured, it just lets gold sink straight into it. And the deeper you get into that bedrock, the more gold you're going to get. Oh, look at that. This seems to be about the average speck count for what I'm getting in this spot, and about the average flake size. But occasionally I'm getting pans that are even better than this. It may sound dumb, but I love finding lead because it lets you know that you're very close to a good gold deposit. Every time I find lead, I find decent gold. The white clay is money, man. Money. Ooh, is that gold in the... I think that's gold in the corner. Yeah. When you start getting pixie ears in the corner, that's how you know you're going to get a good pan. Famous last words, obviously. Oh, wow. Look at the lead. They're bullets. But what, 3? Yeah, 3. That's good. That's good. Ooh, nice flakes. Look at the size of the bullets that came out of that crevice. That means it's holding real good heavies and pretty decent gold by the looks of it. So at this point, I wish I had bought more power bars for power. Power. Very next pan out of the same exact hole, and I had a feeling after seeing those bits of lead that we were going to get a good pan from the bottom. I got a little picker. Remember, if it fits up your nose, it's a picker. If it doesn't, it's a nugget. It also came out with some okay gold, which is good to see. I have a small prediction, if we see big chunks of lead, we'll probably get another picker, or at least some okay gold. Oh damn, we've already got gold all the way over the back of the pan. That is a lot of gold at the back of the pan, all these pieces back here. I can already see our first big bullet of the pan. Well, I'm over here hoping for a picker, but I'll settle for like 20 flakes. Oh, look at the lead. Look at the gold. No. Holy crap. Oh my god, that is a good pan. Little bit of black sand 9 stone, but the gold, bro. The one pan. No freaking way. It's kind of a shame that this is all in crevices in the bedrock. It makes it very difficult to high bank. I could use a river sluice here. Nom 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 nom. Oh, Gobble Guts has not been that satisfied in a while. There's a crevice just here. That's where I was getting good gold. And then the flower gold up that end. That's where I just got that magic pan. I reckon I got one more out of here. If it disappears, I'm going to come up here and take a test pan from behind that ginormous bedrock riffle. The very next pan I got way less gold, but I did get a super nice little picker. Look at this. I can live with that second picker of the day. It's been a while since I've found chunky pieces of gold like that. I've now been out here for 8 hours, and that's a fair amount of time for me. I'm kind of missing my dog, so I'm going to go home. And I'm going to go home a very successful prospector for the day. That is what I've managed to pull out in those 8 hours of test pan. I mean, just look how big that ring of gold is.